Hey, everybody, this is Dr. Kevin McGovern along with Dr. Clay Hammonds for another 18th episode of the Velocity RX podcast. And today's show is about essentially how two experts or medical professionals can look at human movement and come up with two very different or almost opposing viewpoints. So, Clay, go ahead, make
Oh
fun of my Yankees. I can take 2 seconds. I gave enough to your Braves, but go ahead.
man, the defense. I was so mad that we're not getting a game 6A when it seemed like the Yankees had it. And then just simple defensive errors,
I mean,
simple,
that's literally
simple
been
stuff. Simple
if
stuff. It was like little league.
Yep, over 162 games, that has literally been the Yankees. Base running errors, fielding errors,
fielding. Going back to last year, their defense was not great.
really bad. And I don't know where I stand on Juan Soto. I think numbers wise, we can fill in his offensive numbers. They weren't that epic. I mean, they were good, but there's other people that were just as good. But man, did Mookie Betts put on a defensive clinic in right field, showing that Juan
So
Soto is not even in the top whatever for fielding. Like,
no,
not even close.
no, he's definitely not. And
Not even close.
that's not what he's going to get paid for. He's going to get paid for the batting average, the home runs, the power, the on base percentage.
Yeah, certainly not defensively.
No.
So to start off, I get a lot of being on social medias. You get a lot of not a lot. I mean, I shouldn't say a lot. It's just they're the ones that ring out. You get a lot of AKA hate mail. So I've had a couple of posts that have gone relatively viral, pretty close to viral in the past few months. And, one of them was this guy here. We can see the before and after, right? So I'll let that run as I'm talking. But, the kid here, we trained all remote, Clay, and he came to me injured, right? He came to me with post-op a growth plate medial elbow injury, and if we certainly look at his mechanics, at least I could see exactly why he had medial elbow pain, and in this clip, I pretty was clear to outline it, right, of exactly why, and I demonstrated in the same software that I used. And when his front foot was down, and I'll get that, it runs into the, so as this guy's front foot is down and the after, you will see his back foot is now disconnected with the mound. So to me, when you've got 2 feet connected to the mound and you turn your trunk, the stress is going to go to your elbow, and you'll see the blur of his elbow right about at noon, but you'll see a back foot that is disconnected from the mound, which is allowing his trunk to rotate and not causing any counter resistance. Whereas on the top video, you'll see just the opposite, that his foot is connected. You'll see literally dragging that foot, the blur of the arm starting right about there, and that's where the valgus stress comes in. What say you?
Yeah, I can definitely see how that would put more stress on the elbow. And I think the telling thing there is when you look, okay, before kid was having elbow pain,
Right?
right? And
Yep.
so obviously there's a reason why you're getting that force through the elbow. And then in the after, no elbow pain, and you said what, 12 mile an hour faster?
12 miles an hour faster, no elbow pain. He's
Yeah, so
feeling great.
there's your
And listen, I'm not saying that the bottom picture doesn't need work,
yes.
but
I
to
think
me,
his
it's stark contrast from the above video.
right where he was accelerating his arm uphill before versus downhill after, and I think that's the big key to me. Yes, does it need work maybe on the finish and things like that? Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
but I think that um, this is a big topic too of toe drag, right?
Mm.
Toe drag versus no toe drag. So, you know,
It's being taught, and I'll show you another picture later.
yeah,
It's being taught by a lot of people.
and
And
I think the premise of the toe drag is maybe two things, right? So increased hip shoulder separation, and then increased stability. Because if you have 2 points of contact, you're going to be more stable through your lower half, right?
Sure,
Um,
but you pay for it in counter
but
rotation
you,
up top.
yes. So
That's just physics.
then you start getting increased force at the elbow. But I
And
think
I think that's the cause. I think this is to me this is why the injury rate is so high for this right
yeah.
here. That reason, in my opinion. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, so I think those are the two reasons, why people justify teaching that. But, you know, um, is it maybe causing more arm injuries? And I think that's definitely a valid question and point. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
I
to me, we
like,
look at basic kinesiology, right? We got to have a stable post to rotate around, right? That's what
right.
causes torque. But now, if we have two posts, you're not one part of your body is trying to push against that having two posts
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
body's natural inclination is to walk,
Yeah. And then how can you rotate effectively if you're connected
right?
there on
Yeah.
your backside?
So I
So I mean, that definitely brings up a point. And so when I'm training, I don't. I mean, honestly, I don't do a lot with arm. I mean, simple like arm strengthening stuff. Everybody's already doing that.
hmm
Like everybody's training cuff, right? It's everywhere you look. Okay, like everybody's already doing that. So how can you be different? To me, it's balance. Like I want to be balanced on my backside, and then on that front foot right there, I train that too, because I do want to. I'm not saying that you have to get the foot off so fast, but it does need to come around, and then you need to have stability on that front leg. So training balance there to me is key, right?
100% key because even in this photo you'll see how that back foot doesn't move at all, right? That's
Mhm.
huge balance. So I bring all this up, right? Because you looked at this and I looked at that, and and then I got hate mail from this, and it's never it's always and I guess you can't detect tone by Facebook, but usually there's a comment like this is stupid. So you're not trying to have a discussion with me. You've already criticized me, right? You're not saying, so what are you saying? So I got one of those over the weekend, and then some other crony chimed stupid, dumb. And usually I go back and I look like, okay, they're like I said, no, and I said this before, and I said this pre-show, no man wants to admit publicly that they have been had, deceived, or cheated, right? So if they have bought something that ends up being a piece of junk or doesn't work, they're never going to admit it. They're going to try to make someone else look bad so they look good. And so what I'm saying is, when I go back, I'm going to find three things: the NPA, tread, or driveline. All those of those three industries or businesses, someone is connected to that somehow: coach, parent, player, and some tree or derivative. And that's why they are criticizing me, because it's literally opposite of what they've learned, except this guy. And he might be one of those. I don't know. I went back and I looked, and this guy is a medical professional. He's a physician assistant. He works fixing these things. This is his, this is what I do. And I'm like,
So
how could you look at this? How could you look at those two? And because not only did he say what I was doing was wrong, he said the top video of where the kid was injured was better than the bottom video.
yeah,
So
so
immediately I go, all these haters, I'm like, okay, run a podcast. You're certainly welcome to come on. Let's do this. Of course, then everyone, I'm not going to waste my time. No one ever actually comes on. So this guy, name's Chris Hendricks, has accepted. He's supposed to come on at 11:30. We'll see if that happens, but at least one person out of the thousands that are the keyboard warriors in their mom's basement, this guy's going to come on, and I can't wait. So the other one he criticized after, because I said, all right, well, you're going to come on. The first question I'm asking you is how this guy is injured. in the top video, how are you going to combat that? So this video here, I'll share my screen again, is in one of my ads. I'm sure you probably have seen it. But this is one of my moving 3 tap drills. I do it. It teaches balance. It teaches coordination. It teaches fluidity. It teaches muscle memory. But it's just, we're going to pivot. We're going to, teach drop and drive. Great warm-up exercise. You can use towel, ball. I don't care. So he looks at this, and first he asks, why would you ever do this drill? So now I'm thinking, dude, do you need to be in a rubber room? Like, what are you watching? And I'm like, what is this teaching? So I listed all the things he's teaching. And then he said, you're teaching quad dominant movements. So as you know, Clay, that is further, I'm teaching this, okay, to move our center down. And I just filled the chat with every piece of squat training that I do. And he's gone silent since then. So I'm not sure if we're going to see him at 11:30. But when you look at that, do you see quad dominant movement? I mean, I see dropping center first. I don't see knee going over toe first. There goes our center.
I mean, the quad's working eccentrically, right?
Of course, it has to.
Yeah, but I do the same drill, and I do it more for the athlete to feel the glute work for them, right? To get into the hip, right? A little bit of hip coil, right? That's what I use it for. And I like the towel because with the towel, then you can see if you're going to accelerate your arm uphill against gravity, which is going to put more valgus stress on the elbow. It just is, right? That towel is going to unfold early.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And so that is a big indicator to me. And it's a good feedback for the athlete to know, oh, I did that wrong. My towel unfolded. It didn't slap the table hard, right? You want to finish with acceleration, not start with acceleration.
Right. You want to slam that towel down. Now,
yes,
the towel drills, we use the towel one, of course, for biofeedback, for visual. You can see it. The kids like it because they feel, when it hits that hard surface, they can literally get immediate feedback. Oh, I just did something. I just threw with gravity. I can feel different. The towel drill, however, gets a lot of heat as being bad. And I'm going to just preface what I'm about to show the audience. You may have to look away, but another coach in California sent this to me. This is being taught, and not only being taught, it's being measured. And I'm not going to say anything because the picture's worth 1,000 words. I'm just going to put it up. I'm just going to put it on the screen. Okay. Now, my view of an athlete or an athletic move is that I can make another athletic move without a preparatory movement. Meaning, for instance, if I go back to the David Cohn picture, right? So David Cohn from right here can do a spinning back kick, could plant his left foot and punch someone in the face. You can't do a thing from this video. You are fully outstretched. All of your weight is on your front foot. You're dragging your toe, and look
all the forces at the elbow.
Right. So the next move, okay, I don't even think he can turn his trunk because his leg is blocking him and his foot is anchored.
It's already turned.
It's already turned. All of the stress is on the arm and the elbow below the shoulder. I look at the coach, the guy who said it to me is in California. He runs the SoCal Birds, and he's like, this is being taught out here. This was a camp somewhere in his area. I look at this and I'm like, oh my God. And of course, it's being studied. Well, yeah, I just listened to a woman, I don't know if you've heard of Casey Means, the former Stanford doctor who's gone rogue now. Nick probably knows, our friend Nick Lemke probably knows her, saying that everything she learned in medical school is completely wrong because the food we eat is killing us. And she just showed 2 studies where here's a study saying the same food is killing us, and here's a study sponsored by the food company. It says this is the greatest thing ever. So studies can be manipulated constantly. And I look at this picture and I see, oh my God, what say you?
I think that that kid needs some help before he tears his UCL. I don't like the elbow position in relation to the shoulder. It seems like getting a lot of arm drag there. Um, and yeah, you're right. Like, how can you, like, you're already kinetically, you've already used all the kinetic energy of the body, and now your arm has to be the engine from that point, going back to the engine and the caboose.
100%, dude.
So
In the greatest visual thing I've ever heard.
so you've already taken you've already used up what should be your engine, and now from this position here, the arm has to do all of the work. Has to. You have no more kinetic energy left in your body, and
Nope.
all of that force is being transferred up right to the medial elbow.
Yep. Now people will call this, I guess, the new term is layback. I don't know. That's not really a medical term, but
There's layback.
he's laid back. He's gonna be laid up for a while.
Yeah, right.
So, so what else is the problem? Well, let's look down here. At the time he sent this to me, had 55,000 views. I'm sure it's tripled that by now or more. 249 likes, 24 reposts. So this is being marketed as what to do, as opposed to the photo next to him of David Cohn dropping and driving. Like this is the new thing. And
Can you play that middle?
yeah, no, it doesn't. It was just
Doesn't
it
play.
was,
It's
yeah,
still
it doesn't, and it was only a still picture, and it
hmm
was highlighting what I can tell you. Let me move this. The head weighs 7% of the body weight. If your head moves 6 inches this way and that way, it was talking about the head being aligned over the body. And I'm like, dude, like we need a cell phone on speed dial to the ambulance. Like, there's no way this kid is not going to get hurt throwing like, no way. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
unless it's an absolute miracle.
his time is limited.
Its time is limited. Well, we are at the bottom of the hour, and we'll give a couple minutes here, but we'll just continue. So we are at the bottom of the hour. So we did get, again, someone to come on and at least accept the challenge, but as of right now is not actually live. So we will obviously continue what we were talking about here. But this goes to my, we need an avatar. We truly, like, golf has Iron Byron, which promotes the same golf swing every single time. They test clubs, they test balls. We need a pitching avatar. We need best practices, and there's just so many competing views, but there really isn't. Like, we look at that picture, and you can't scientifically substantiate that that's a good position, right? I mean, how can you come and say, well, that's it? There's no way.
Yeah, that is not the position you want to be in when you're getting ready to project a baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not even an athletic position. Whereas you look at, the David Cohn picture where he's in a fantastic one-legged squat. I don't see it, but there's so many people. We have gotten, in my opinion, the biggest cause of injury, we have gotten away from the David Cohn dropping and driving, and we're into the drift. Pick the leg up, and everyone goes forward towards home plate. And when you do that, you end up, in my opinion, with that arm perilously behind you.
Yeah, I mean you're getting downhill way too early, and then you're left with arm accelerating uphill, increased valgus stress on the elbow.
Yeah.
Which is why I love the three tap drill, because it teaches you to get in your glutes, stay on your lower half as you're starting to go down the hill, right? Gradually, and then letting your arm catch up at the right position at foot strike, where then you can whip down, right? And that's so another thing I don't like about that still image that you have is his elbow is, it seems like it's below his
Oh, it's
shoulder.
absolute. It's down here.
So
Absolutely.
it's down
Yeah.
here,
I'll put that
which
back up here.
which to me is a number. Man, when I see that, it just.
So I would say he's, I don't know, what are we,
I mean, he needs to be
60 degrees of abduction, right? I mean, 75.
30 degrees more elevated.
Yeah, and certainly he's at, you know, I don't know, 130 degrees, 120 degrees of external rotation. I mean, the force on his rotator cuff and elbow right, I wouldn't, if there was a biofeedback machine that can, censor this in real time. I mean, it has to be through the roof. I don't.
I mean, I literally just had to fix this on a 14, 15-year-old kid.
Now I know what's going to happen, right? Someone is going to see this and say, "Well, I need to see the whole video." No, you do not. You see that? That has got to. I look at any athlete pitching, running, basketball is a high-speed camera of a bunch of pictures, right? LeBron James, trip, whatever it is. And my job, your job as a physical therapist, movement specialist, is to take out the pictures that don't contribute to correct movement and make a 20 photo movement 12. And that's how you become a better athlete. There's no photo, there's no movement where that photo is acceptable.
No, it's not good. It's not a good still frame. Yeah, but I just had to fix this on a kid, and because he had a UCL strain, because his mechanics were very, very similar to that, if not the same. Elbow down below shoulder level, leading with the elbow before he throws, as he's getting ready to throw the ball, pushing, arm drag, whatever you want to call it. And now in 4 weeks, he's gone from having elbow pain to he can now get his arm up in the proper position and accelerate downhill.
That's fantastic. That was a kid you talked about last show, correct?
Yeah, and he has zero arm pain. We threw again yesterday, 90 feet, 85 to 100% max effort, no pain.
Fantastic, dude. That's
increased velo. I mean, I don't even get guns on these kids, but it's his perception is that he's throwing harder with a lot less effort.
Fantastic. He's the caboose, right? The caboose has no effort.
It's everything. Your arm should be the last thing to go, but the last thing to go with proper mechanics accelerating down.
Exactly.
Right. So you have to use your body to get your arm in a good position. This is not a good still frame of using your body to get your arm in a good position.
Nope. So getting back to, essentially what, how can medical professionals look at the same thing? I mean, there's problems there. So when you go down a couple pegs, and no disrespect to any coach out there, okay? I didn't ask you to take gross anatomy in the summer of 1992 when it was 150 degrees in Boston. That's okay. But the problem with both of these, right, with this guy and this guy, is this guy right here under my name, okay, coach, and then obviously the people that are promoting this as being okay. That's the two problems, because neither one, that movement, and then as we'll get to that movement, they're pretty much almost in the same exact picture, except this guy's arm is at least higher. Okay. It's higher, but both feet are connected to the ground. He can't turn anymore. And the arm is lagging tremendously behind. I know that the top photo caused an injury here because that's why they came to see me. I don't know I can only speculate on this guy, but I can't imagine that he did not get injured.
Well, I'm thinking that he probably pitches through some arm pain.
Absolutely. So, Clay, as another payback for for borrowing your caboose comment,
Hmm.
you like the 3-tap drill.
I love it.
Um,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna allow you to have another one of my drills here. So, um, Clay and I both agree pretty much basic human movement is pitching, right? We have the squat as exhibited here by Mr. Cohn in a Yankee uniform, by the way. That's when they could win games. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Um, lunge, okay, and then spinal rotation, right? And you have to have one-legged balance on both legs. Both legs have to be perfect on one-legged balance. So I really believe that hitting, fielding, pitching is really one derivative of a squat, right? And that's how I kind of came up with this drill. It was hard to get people to kind of stay back on that one leg. And this kid's a left-handed pitcher. And I'm like, look, why don't you get into your fielding position, right? Which is essentially what this would be. And then from here, I'm like, and then let's just, come up and finish. So this
Right.
was kind of my um, you know, you could do this with it. I've got so this, the squat to leg lift, and you could definitely do squat to 3-tap to back to squat, really. And this really has promoted getting into his backside. I mean, look at that back foot. I mean, how many kids can go from a squat, lift their leg, and that back foot not move? Meaning there's none of this going on. And
Hmm.
that's literally been training. And there's this horrible you moved a little bit there. There's this horrible movie on Netflix now. I don't know if you saw it. It's about the 2004. I guess it's the 20th anniversary. Something happened in like I don't even know, like Boston, New York. There was something happened. I don't know. The Yankees were, and then I don't like to talk about it. It's a dark time. So Kurt Schilling, uh, they interviewed Kurt Schilling, right? And Pedro got on the mound, right? And he was watching. He's actually sort of blamed his ankle injury on Pedro. That Pedro would have be on the mound like this. So it would have the lateral aspect of his foot on the rubber, and then the medial in the dirt. And I'm like, yeah, no trainer told you that you have to act what that. He's like, yeah, and I threw harder. Yeah, no trainer there told you that because you're doing that, which activates your groin and your pelvic floor. Hello. So what it did, rather than again, I looked at it, I'm like, oh my God, if someone had picked that up, they could have just told you when you lift your leg up to make sure you drive your foot into the ground, and now you don't hurt your ankle because what that is doing is engaging your pelvic floor. Like I don't get these guys in these high ranked positions are not figuring this out, and it causes some. He had to eventually that essentially shortened his career. The ankle surgery he had to have afterwards.
Yeah, just bad mechanics, and like you said, how are you in that position and not? I mean, your whole purpose is to negate injury,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Like, of
And
course,
so,
it's making you throw harder. There's a scientific reason why, and it's not to jam the lateral aspect of your ankle together. The guy is probably, you know, 250, 260 during his playing career. Every pitch smashing that. No wonder he wore out his ankle,
yeah,
right? And
yep,
that's why the back foot is so important. That's why the squat is so important. Pelvic floor is so important. And this is what
yeah,
Clay and I do to make sure that the person is using their entire body, that everything is in that engine and that caboose is last.
engine in the caboose, man. That's it. That's where it's at. Got to
Well,
teach it.
gotta
Where's our
teach it.
guy, man?
I guess well, we got close. This was as close as someone ever came. I'm sure
Mm,
there'll be something I'll have to, I'll give the guy another chance because I literally, I think we have to hear like, what are you seeing? Like,
yeah, like
and
why?
look again, right? If he looked at the mustard thing, maybe he was taught that. You have to unlearn it. Like
Right.
I, I don't know about you. I might have, been a little bit of a bad boy in school. I once did put a for sale sign on my I went to this like Catholic high school, and
Me
and
too.
right before, oh, I think we started. It was regional, so actually Xavier High School, home of Jeff Bagwell. right before right after announcements, which is like, 8 o'clock, I hear, McGovern, we're going to need you to come to the office because you get here early. I get here earlier than you. So I went early one day, like 6:30 in the morning, and I took a for sale sign and put it on the front of the school. So when I go down to the principal's office, right? So the principal was a brother, and then the vice principal, disciplinary, was a layperson, and they're like sitting there like this. I'm like, it's okay, you can laugh. I'm like, please, they're like, look, and please tell me you didn't steal the sign from somewhere. I was like, no, my parents had it in their garage. So I might have fractured a little, it might have been a little bit discipline problem, but I was always someone who asked why. So if you're going to say something in class, I need to see the why. I need to see how one connects to other. And I think that's why learning is, you get these therapists that come out of school now and you see it like, hello,
Yeah.
did you ever like think for yourself, have a thought for yourself that, gee, that doesn't sound right, and ask
Right.
someone to prove it? What do you
Mhm.
see? I don't see that, and especially the young Gen Z therapists. No way.
Yeah, and I think yeah, and so much is just taught, especially in school. Is just taught, and you just regurgitate it. And but yeah, nobody's ever asking the questions of why. And then when you get to a certain level like this, and you start to niche down and do things, I think that is hard for people sometimes to unlearn what they know
Mm-hmm.
to learn something new that's better and is going to cause less injury.
And what I like to say, provable,
Mm.
provable. There are things. I mean, we can look at that picture, that Tom House picture, and we can go muscle test that kid in that position. He's going to fall over. There's no way that position is optimal for his body.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
I
no.
can send you a video of my 9-year-old pitching in a tournament last week that has better mechanics than that.
There you go. 9-year-old is getting better with his mechanics, by the way.
He is getting better. I got to send you the video of this last week. I actually sent it to Jason.
All
Man,
right.
he did so good. He
Good.
pitched,
Good for you, Dad.
yeah, he pitched 3 innings, closed out the tournament, six Ks, 2 walks. So we got the walks down. So now he's getting a little more consistent with the strike
Yeah,
zone, which is good. Yeah, his mechanics are getting better. There's some things to
that's
still work
fantastic.
on. Of course, he's 9, but
It's 9.
you know,
Have fun. As long as he's having fun.
yeah,
And part of having
70
fun
pitches,
is
70
succeeding.
pitches, no arm pain.
Fantastic, dude. That's the key. That's the key.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we apparently struck out, or maybe we didn't strike out, but please hit the like and subscribe to this. This helps us out. Clay, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, just Facebook, my name, Clay Hammonds, on IG at Clay Ham, 2 M's. Yeah, just reach
Nice.
out, DM me, anything you need, man. I'm here.
And I'm at Dr. K McGovern PT. And we will see you again. Thank you, as always, for listening. Thank you for your comments. And please comment on this, ask any questions. We are here to help you learn, to give as much knowledge as we have. And if you disagree with us, disagreement's okay. Insults are never okay. All right.
Yeah.
So think about that.
But just have a why.
Yeah. Just have the why. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Thanks, guys.